Okay, and we're back. Welcome back, everyone. We're out of the big cave, and well, we might be out of the big cave. It's Emily's turn to choose where we go. Do we go down into the I think it's the under road. I'd have to check. Let me check. Oh, oh god. Um. Oh, piss. I think it's the Under Road. I can't remember what it's officially called.
That's fine. I think we're going to go to
Or do you want to go
Estalia.
to Estalia? All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
you,
want to go to
Emily,
Estalia.
are doing moving
Okay.
the old
We're in the
Magus
Magus.
buddy for us.
All right. Yeah. Okay. The hospitality of the Gilded One. So, I'm imagining sort of based on the look of this picture and kind of what I had imagined that the kind of like center of this town is this kind of like keep, which is mostly tower. Um, and kind of like I'm imagining it sort of halfway between kind of what we see there, like this sort of, fairy tale style peaked tower, but also a little bit like a lighthouse. Um, and I think like um, we see again, following the tradition, I guess, that we've had of like, meeting um, the ruler or whatever, goes for a ruler. Um, we see our like party in a room which appears to be like near the top of this tower. And rather than being kind of like a big hall, where we're being formally met, I think the five of them are crowded around a small bed in this very like lavish chamber, and there's like a couple of servants at the door, a sort of a guard and things like that. And they're all standing around, this small bed, and sort of in the small bed, kind of propped up in like this, pile of big plush cushions, is a very small person. It's kind of hard to tell whether they are a very ill child or like just a very, very, very old person. Um, and when they speak, their voice is kind of like whispery and like frail. Um, could I ask Jess to play the Gilded One?
Sure. All right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna say, am I allowed to ask someone else to play the Magus, or do I need to do it because I'm
No,
framing a
you
scene?
can do someone else, but like.
I can do it. No, I'll do it. Sorry. So yeah, I think, I think like the Magus also, like by this point, maybe it was hard to tell in the cave, but like in this scene, I think she looks like really, really pale and unwell. Like it's really showing on her face, and I think she's kind of like leaning on Elamura's arm, quite like heavily, um, and uh, yeah, I think she's saying to the Gilded One when we like sort of coming to the scene. She's saying to the Gilded One, uh, um, "How have your efforts been to rebuild after the storms?"
So yeah, I think the Gilded One kind of looks up and says, for a while, there was hope. We were rebuilding well. Our people, they moved with a new kind of excitement. But as of late, the momentum is slowing. Every day I look out my window and the teams of those who are rebuilding are growing smaller. But if you're here, then I guess it's not just our little town that's suffering.
I think the Magus sort of nods and she says, very wearily and kind of like largely to herself, it feels like everything is winding down.
Yeah, I think that the Gilded One nods and says, we've had a good run, you and I, but it would have been nice to continue. Just when we were starting to see beauty in our town again, the storms may be gone, but I worry that what's coming next is worse than the storms. Yeah, I think they kind of just trail off and sort of look wistfully out the window, like.
Yeah, I think there's like a sense actually, and I'm really curious to know how the other characters in the scene react to it. But I think there's like a sense that like this conversation between the Magus and the Gilded One is like two very old people talking about how they're okay with the idea of dying. And yeah, and so there's this kind of like, I think there's a sort of a bit of camaraderie is like the wrong word because that seems too like cheerful, but like, yeah, they're having a conversation about this, you know, very specific thing, but in a veiled way.
I think River like pointedly leaves and like closes the door, not slams, but like closes it loudly behind herself.
Yeah,
I think Fawn would probably be quite I don't know if irritated is the right word, but I guess like frustrated with the conversation, because I think for her it's sort of like, well, we got through this last time, like why are you being so nihilistic, I guess, because you know, it's not the end. We're sick, but we're not dead. So I think she kind of just snaps a little bit, and then not quite as dramatic as River. I don't think she would leave, but I think that she would just kind of fall back into the corner of the room and just kind of look a bit cranky.
Yep. And Elamura, I think, just sort of just doesn't, you know, doesn't want to focus on that sort of talk, you know, just wants to focus on, you know, trying to encourage the Magus to rest and, you know, to borrow her strength, you know, basically to not exert herself, to rest up. Yeah.
So she's sort of like supporting, trying to sort of physically support her and maybe not not add to her distress or whatever. I think Caspian is really, really neutral. Like, almost seems like they're just not listening to the conversation at all. They're just sort of like, I think they're standing by the window and staring out the window, but they don't seem frustrated or distressed at all. Just kind of like they're not needed right now.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. You go.
No, I was like, is that like where we see the end of the conversation?
Oh.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I think the Gilded One says something like, you know, everything's in ruins, but before things slowed down, we managed to rebuild our town's famous pier, and if you're well enough, you should visit while you're here.
Yeah, I think the Magus nods and sort of smiles weakly, and she says, I remember your pier from last time. There's a beautiful view of the sea. I will try to do this.
Yes, please do. Sometimes the sea, well, it calms me. Maybe it'll do the same for you.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's. Yep. I think maybe we get like out sort of like closing shot is like out through that window of just like the sea, and I think we see on the horizon like sort of darker kind of clouds like beginning to gather. Cool.
Oh.
Okay. Can I just ask on the marketplace of magic? There's a leaf symbol or something,
which indicates change. A leaf symbol indicates change. Before you end your turn, change or remove something from your note card. This could be your name, your title, or a trait. Then describe why your character thinks this is true.
Oh.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay, I'm going to go to the marketplace of magic then. Yeah, I'm going to okay, so setting the scene, the Magus is resting up, and Elamura's gone to this magic marketplace that she's heard about from some of the locals, to see if there's anything that she can find that would help the Magus, perhaps sort of give them some more strength, or I don't know, like just anything that can help the Magus. And so she's wandering through the marketplace. I don't know, would any of your characters, perhaps Fawn, would Fawn like to accompany Elamura?
Yeah, sure.
So we're wandering through the marketplace and come across a stall which just has lots of like glowing orbs of energy behind the counter, amongst other things, but and it's just like there's a higher concentration of magical items in this particular stall. It seems to be like the place to go for for strong magics, and there's a mysterious sort of looking cloaked figure behind the counter, and Emily, can I ask if you could play that character?
I'd love to play a mysterious figure. Sure.
Yep. Yeah. And
so no, go on.
Yeah. Elamura asks, she says we represent the Magus. We are on a pilgrimage with her, but she's low on energy. She seems to be quite unwell. Do you have anything that could assist?
So the figure sort of like kind of like moves toward the front of the stall a little bit, and kind of like seems to peer at you, but like their face is like still quite shadowed by the hood, but you kind of get the sense that they're like trying to look up into your face, Elamura, and they say, a cure you're looking for. Yes, I have many things if you have coin.
Yes, I have coin. What type of coin do you prefer?
So I think because it's like a strange price, isn't it? The thing for this. Okay, so I think they say they like reach under the counter and they start taking out like bundles of like herbs and things, and they haven't sort of indicated these baubles at all. They start taking out these bundles of herbs, and like I don't know if either of these characters have like experience with like healing things, but like I think if one of you does, like you can tell that these are really like common. It's like mint and parsley and things like that, and they sort of lay them out on the table, and they say, yes, these are very exotic remedies. My grandmother's grandmother's recipe. They will cure all ailments. And they like sort of begin to point to them and be like, this one 10 gold pieces, this one 20, very special.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the sort of cure that is needed. Like the Magus seems to be like her illness is more related to magic and magical energy.
Say no more. And they like kind of like scoop all of the herbs like into their arm and like kind of shove them back under the desk, and they sort of like put a hand into their cloak and kind of do this, and then they sort of like look at you, and then look behind them to the baubles, kind of like following your eye, and they say, yes, I have many shinies. They may cure this kind of problem, but they are a little more cost. Maybe it is not something you want to pay.
Well, I owe the Magus my life. Like, what is the cost? Like,
your life.
What's on your character sheet, Elamura?
Yeah, what have you got, and then we'll decide.
Well, my name, Fugitive of Stormguard. I've got the fierce attribute, I guess. And yeah, the other things I've noted are just my history, like my history and my backstory.
Trying to think what. Yeah, so I think
and the golem, the crystal golem shards, but
no, I think it's something because the thing is that you have to change something on your sheet, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think it should be like physical items that I have.
No, exactly. I'm wondering if it's a change in that trait, because I'm thinking a narrative kind of thing. Is that a thing you'd be open to changing? So
by trait, do you mean
the fierce one
or fierce? Okay. Yeah. I mean,
actually, I think they present you with a choice.
Yeah.
I think they present you with a choice. They say, oh, your life. This is a very strong bond. Maybe you are willing to pay the price. Two choice. You give me your name, or you give me something a little more kind of I can take the spark, maybe little spark from inside you. It's not something important, nothing you need really, but it will light a bubble of its own. It's your choice. Mechanically, they're saying, do you want me to take your name or your fierceness?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like either one's a bad option. Like, but I mean, the fierceness is, I think, important to, like, for Elamura to, well, I guess is the fierceness like Elamura's strength in, like, her sort of bravery in combat, or
perhaps.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the name is the more interesting one.
I mean, she's a fugitive, right? So
yeah,
she doesn't need a name.
Yeah, and she's just had her, like, a not so great experience with family back in Castle Stormguard. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Alamura says name. Yeah.
So they sort of nod fervently and they say, very good, very good. And they reach under the counter again and pull out like a small like scroll of parchment, and they hand it over to you and brandish like a big feather pen, and they say, here, please write your name, your full name. Do not miss anything. Do not lie. And they sort of like indicate to Fawn, like, look away, this is important magic, very secret. And they like hand you this pen and scroll to write your name on.
Yep. And I mean, does Fawn react to any of this?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe Fawn kind of was falling a little bit behind, like looking at another stall when you started this conversation, and then kind of halfway through turned and was like, okay, what is happening? And so probably when the hooded figure is like, this is very secret, like just write your name down. Fawn kind of gives you this look like are you sure? Doesn't say anything, just kind of looks at you like.
Well, I mean that the Magus is not going to survive this journey on her current strength. Like I think I think this is something we that if it can help her, then it's like it's larger than me. It's more important than just me. This is something that I still owe the Magus, and yeah, I think it can help.
I think Fawn says, if you're sure, it's powerful stuff. But I guess I've never known Estalian magic to fail, so it's probably worth a try if you're willing to pay that price.
I mean, it's just a name, and it's a name that I've, that I have to be careful who I tell at the moment, and yeah, I don't think, I'm sure I can have another name later on, like I can have a new name, but this one only has bad memories associated with it.
Yeah, I think while you've been talking, the shopkeeper has been like gone to the back of the stall and is like choosing one of the baubles and kind of like muttering to themselves, and sort of like going between them, and seems like they're sort of like arguing with themselves about which one is best for what you want.
Yep.
And eventually they choose one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Fawn says, all right, well, I'll help you come up with a new name. For now, I'll just let you complete your transaction.
Thank you.
And I'll look away from the secret magic. Yeah. And turns away.
And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen if I'm going to need help getting back to the castle. I guess that's where we're staying. But...
So once the stall holder comes back over, and they pick up the little scroll that you've written your name on, and like roll it up really, really tightly, and they reach under the desk. It seems like there's just like way more space under there than there ought to be, because it seems like really thin, but they just keep pulling things out of there. And they pull out like an empty one of these baubles that you can see now has like a very small hole like in the bottom of it. There's like a string on one side and a small hole on the other side, and they like get this tiny piece of paper and kind of like push it through the little hole in the bauble. And like just before they press the last bit of it, they say goodbye now, and then they like poke it, and it like pops into the bauble and kind of like unfolds into like for a moment it looks almost kind of like an origami, like a lotus or something. The paper kind of like folds into this shape, and then like glows until you can't see the shape of whatever it was anymore. It's just sort of like a glow that fills the inside of the bauble, and they kind of like pick it up by its string and say, "Oh, a very beautiful name," and like hang it behind them, and then they hand you a bauble that has like a kind of a very different sort of like bluish light that's kind of like looks like reflections on water, and they hand it to you, and they say, "Now, very quickly before you leave, a test. What is the name you wrote down?" And of course, you can't remember it.
Yep. It was it's on the tip of my tongue.
Very good, very good. This is fine. And yeah, they like hand the bauble to you and say, "Best wishes," and I'm sure it will work very well for you.
Thank you.
I think.
And-
Oh, sorry.
No.
I was gonna
You
say
go.
if we have like a scene of like you returning to the others, who didn't come with you, like River's like you come back to like wherever they're staying or whatever, and River's like, it's like, oh, the monster of Castle Stormguard is back, and the Magus like looks at her, and then like looks at you, and just like cocks their head.
Okay, that's an interesting thing.
So
Like, do we get the sense that like did River
River just
mean
says-
to say it?
River just just instead of saying that
Mm.
Alamura is back, like
Mm.
like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
she
Okay. That's
still has her title,
yeah. It's true.
so she's like, the Slayer of Castle Stormguard or whatever is back, and like the Magus cocks
Wasn't it
that something
Butcher?
is weird. Oh,
It
the
was the
Butcher. That was
Butcher.
what it was. The Butcher of Castle Stormguard is
Yeah.
back, and and the Magus is like,
Mhm.
what?
Yeah. There you go. There's a
You-
price.
you know I don't like that name.
And yeah, and it was like, oh, I'm sorry, friend, and like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, should I continue? Like, should we keep this going or
No, I
move
think
on
that's
to a different?
Well, I mean, like if you've told what you're into, but I think we've told the strange price.
So I guess the extra thing you're introducing there is like, rather than having no name, the only name that she has left is like the Butcher.
All I'm saying is that you still have mechanically, you still have the title.
Yeah, you still have that as a title. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really interesting.
But
Mm.
yeah, we are going a little long on our scenes.
Yeah.
Cool. That's fine.
Jess, would you like to?
Yeah. All right. So I am going to go with an unexpected reunion.
Hey.
Because that seems appropriate. Yeah. So I think that they're probably all staying in the castle, like you said. So one night, being in her hometown, Fawn decides that she's going to go out for like a bit of a wander, and she decides that she wants to revisit her family home. So she walks down the street on the way to her house. But I think on the way she gets distracted by the state of the buildings that are on her street, and she's making notes, silly little notes to herself, like, oh, Mrs. Blackwater's tree has grown, and oh, they've put up a new fence since I was here last, and it just kind of noticing these things to herself, and she's not really paying attention, and she bumps into somebody, like full on physically smacks somebody, and it's she's kind of taken aback because she looks up, and it's a person from her past, a person she went to school with. Ash, will you play this person?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So, can you give me like a brief physical description?
Yeah, I'm still trying to decide if I want them like what sort of.
I mean, I can just give you a random person that you knew from school.
Yes, if you
Cool.
want.
Fine.
You have fun.
Okay. Right. Okay. So yeah, you bump into someone and they're like, Fawn. Oh my god.
Mm.
And like, and like looks you up and does be like, what happened to you?
I think Fawn's kind of like, oh wow, thanks, you look great too.
Excuse me. I got married.
Oh, wow. That's you just really dropped that right in there, didn't you?
And she's like, so doesn't matter.
Yeah. Fawn's like, what? Okay, you got married, so your life's perfect. Is that what you're suggesting right now?
Look, you can't call me fat.
I think Fawn's just kind of laughing, like literally never did that. What is that? Does that mean what were you insinuating about me then? Because this conversation is not, it's not going the way. So I think Fawn is kind of just kind of like, oh great, like this is like
Listen,
I've been
you come back into
gone.
town like waltzing around like you're some big shit with like glowing eyes and like all that sort of stuff, and we all know you failed out of the academy, and like because you can't control your shit. And like me and Darren, we've got our own little business. He's a
Darren.
really
Oh,
good barber.
you're dating people called Darren now. Okay, wow.
Darren. Everyone.
Oh, I
wanted
remember
and I
Darren.
got him.
I remember Darren. I did not want Darren.
Yeah, but that's because we knew you weren't interested.
Well, yeah, you're right. That must be it. I just knew I had no chance, so I thought, no, you know what? I'm not worthy of Darren. So, congratulations to you.
No, well, at least, at least none of my boyfriends turned out gay.
Well, you know what? More power to them. To be honest, maybe they were, and you just weren't a nice enough person that they thought they could tell you that information. Maybe Darren's gay. I always thought maybe there was a chance. So you know, but
like,
you're confident,
no,
so
no, bro weekends are straight as hell. He's told me.
bro weekends. Okay. Is that just him and like his closest friends? Do they get in touch with
they
their
go do
emotions?
manly
Is
shit
that
because he's manly.
he's manly? Okay. All right. Well, that means he's not gay. Sure. Great. Well,
I hate this person so much. I hate this person.
I think Fawn also hates this person, but also maybe not. I think the reason that Fawn is so irritated by this person is because maybe in the past there was she had like some kind of romantic feelings for this person.
All right, because I was gonna say like, they were like totally like really close, and it was definitely like Shanae definitely thought that like they were like best friends, and like that was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And Fawn kind of had some different ideas. But I think knowing Shanae as we do, that she may have been hesitant to act on these feelings.
Yeah, right. Like, it's totally a thing of like of like Shanae would like talk shit about and Fawn would have been like being like, oh no, like
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like I'm imagining that she would have been like, oh yeah, you know, like there's definitely not, like, thank God that there are no like gay people at our school, like there are none in this area, like that just really, you know, that would make things so much more complicated. Yeah. And Fawn just spent a lot of time being like, yeah, that would be the worst. It just that would be so terrible.
Oh, I really don't like the gays.
Well, like yeah, I think like Shanae like in high school was like very competitive about boy chasing. Like she's a competitive person, and she's like, and
Yeah.
like so as soon as you're back in town and you like and she sees you, she's like immediately being like, what are you doing back here? Well, like
Yeah.
like you left, you quit.
Well, I'm here for
Like,
Darren,
I'm
obviously.
like, do you say that to her?
Yeah,
And
sure.
she's like, I will get out. She's like, get back on whatever boat you came from, and like,
Boat.
yeah, she just assumes you've been overseas.
Yeah,
and
mhm.
she's like, and she's like, just I don't even. She's like, I'm gonna go and tell Darren. She's like, you won't believe this. You were so nice.
Fawn's just like, do you genuinely think that I'm into Darren? Like, is that still where
Are you not
think?
into Darren? Is Darren not good enough for you?
Wow, you know what? Okay, this is gonna take way more time than I can put into this conversation right now because I'm actually on a super important journey right now. So as
Your journey's
crucial
so important.
as
I'm
this
going on
is.
self-discovery.
Yeah, I've discovered myself a long time ago. It's not that, don't worry. But it's no, yep, you're right. You know what? You don't need to know. It's not that important. It's fine. It's just the fate of magic in the land. It's cool because you never had any anyway, so it's not going to affect you. I'll just let you go back to Darren and that super great life that you have right now. Because you don't want to talk to me clearly.
I can't
So,
believe you would say something so hurtful.
So her, are you okay?
She's like, I thought we were friends, and like just starts walking off.
She's like, okay, Shanae, wait. It's genuinely good to see you.
She's like, yeah, well, I don't know, you two or something, but not like,
Thank you.
you know.
And Fawn's like, I know. She's like, I'm genuinely happy for you and Darren. I really hope that things work out.
She's like, it's all going really well. We might be,
Yeah?
we've been together for like nearly 10 years, and we might be getting a cat.
Oh my god, that's a big step for you.
She's like, did you hear about Mika?
No,
And she just starts like going off about like,
yeah.
right? Like just starts telling you everything about Mika and like, you know, and like how she's like, you know, obviously cheating on blah 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 blah.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, Fawn's just kind of like, God, I've missed so much in this town. Wow, I'm gonna have a lot to catch up on.
I think the thing is that like she's telling you all of this news and it's so exciting and everything, but at the same time it's very clear that nothing has changed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Fawn just kind of looks around her at the streets and she's just like, okay, so maybe Mrs. Blackwater's tree really was like the most, she doesn't say it out loud, but she's like, maybe that really was the most exciting thing that's happened since I left. And just kind of thinking to herself like, all right, I made a good choice. Yeah. And I think she probably after a while cuts her friend off and is like, okay, I really want to hear all this, and when I come back properly, I absolutely want to sit down, we'll have a drink, we'll talk about everything, because there is no one that I would rather have catch me up on everything that's going on in Estalia. But I actually wasn't kidding before. There's actually something really important that I need to do right now. I'll tell you about it later. I'm not going to tell you about it now because that's just a whole different story. So it's been good seeing you, and I'm going to go see my family. They probably also want to see me.
Yeah, she's like,
But who knows?
oh, did you not hear about your brother? He broke up with Simone.
I think Fawn's just kind of like, wow, like, oh, the shame.
So
God.
tragic. They were perfect.
Oh, she was so good for him. Oh,
Did
That-
Fawn even know Simone?
No, I don't think so. Fawn's just like, wow, oh, jeez. Oh, when will he find another Simone in these parts? Oh,
And she's like, yeah, Tanya is not the same.
oh, God. That bitch, Tanya.
She's like, I saw her with mismatched nail polish. And not like intentional either.
Oh, okay, wow. That's
Like,
too
one
far.
one was like sky blue, and then one was like baby blue. And I was like, what are you doing?
Wow. What? Can she not, like, just take nail polish from one jar? Is it?
I don't
Is
know.
it that
She's
hard?
a mess.
Wow.
I love
Yeah.
Fawn trying to bitch back, being like, yeah, like, jars? What's she even doing? So bad at that.
Anyway, I shouldn't
God,
keep you
this-
from your like horrible family reunion. It was going to be lots
Yeah.
of tears, I know.
Wow.
Um,
Now I'm really
she's like-
worried.
And she's like gets like a packet of like tissues out of like a bag or whatever. And it's like, here, you'll need these.
Thank you. Thanks. Wow. Yeah. I really appreciate that. Thanks. I don't know what I'd do without you.
She's like, I don't know either.
No. Anyway, I'm gonna go see my train wreck of a family. You go see Darren. I'll keep you posted on Tanya and her nail polish situation.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, I'll tell Darren you're back in town. I won't tell him about the thing. It's fine.
Okay. Thanks. I appreciate that. It's best that he doesn't know. And I think yeah, Fawn just kind of takes a few steps away and like lifts her hand like bye.
And then, like,
like
and then,
a-
like she steps forward and like tries to give you a hug.
yeah. Fawn just kind of turns around like, oh, this is okay. We're gonna do all right. Okay.
Yep. Cool.
Just like brings her in for the hug.
Cool. Is that the
I
end
mean,
of the
following
scene,
this
or-
conversation, Fawn probably like goes into her family home, walks in the front door, and was like, "Wow, the day that I've had."
and yeah, and like
That and now,
Yeah, yeah,
I like the
exactly,
idea of putting
yeah.
it like
Yep,
on that
just cut
announcement,
there,
just being
yeah.
like, "You will not believe my day," and we're like going with the family.
yeah, but the family's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what the- Hello.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. hmm
All right. Well, that was a scene.
That was indeed an unexpected reunion.
Yes.
I think it's my turn. I'm gonna go to Starfall Academy. And
I like what Kane. I was just going to say, I like what Kane said in the chat. Fall of Magic, come for the epic quest to save magic. Stay for the catty gossip.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think we see
Fawn had
River-
a red hot go at that
Yeah.
gossip. She
Yeah,
tried
had a
real hard.
real solid effort.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone can keep up with Shanae.
No. Shanae is a special being.
Cool.
A force.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do Starfall Academy. How you fix what is broken, and
Mhm.
I think we just see River going there with Caspian, and River goes and like finds like an arch wizard or a high magister or something that is like tenured at the college, and so like we're in like an office which has got like a leather bound seats and like wall to wall bookcases and a fire and an elaborate rug and a mahogany desk and like all of those like fantasies of academia. And there's a hovering bottle of port that like pours itself into a glass when you put it when you put a glass near it, and there's like an all white cat sitting like sitting in one corner of the room that like every time you look at it, it like looks, it like stares completely back at you in like straight into your eyes, and then like a third eye opens on its forehead, and then like it like meows and like runs away. And yeah, and River and Caspian are there with the let's say High Magister, and I think River's like asking about like what can we do to help the Magus, like, and like bring like she's like, I know we're going to Umbra, but like what will we do there? What will we find there? How will we make this work? I don't understand. And like the Magister's like it's like, well, I think, and like just as that happens, there's like a banging on the door. Someone comes in and is like says like, I heard that there was a midwife in here. Someone in the infirmary. She's pregnant, and I think she's coming to labor, but she's not well. And so like we get this, we get the like cut to the to like the outside of the infirmary with like Caspian and the High Magister like standing together outside, and like and all of, and the and like, you know, people coming and going, and the sound of like of River like issuing orders and things like that. And I think at some point like she comes out, and she says to the High Magister, she's like, you know this woman, don't you? And he's like, not officially, but I would appreciate it if you would look after her. That child is important to me as well. And and she's like, this isn't going to be a happy day for you. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best, but it doesn't look good. He's like, you know, like I've heard of you from the Magus. I trust your skills, or whatever. Like she goes back inside, and eventually like re-emerges with a baby in like wrapped in swaddling clothes, and like passes it to the Magus, and like and says, I'm sorry, and to the High Magister, and the High Magister like starts like you know, like starts to like cry, but then like stiff upper lips it, and it's like, that is the way of things these days. I guess you have an answer to your question. And then like that's the end of the scene.
Sad. I observe everything with a neutral expression. No, yeah, no, totally. That is literally what they do. They observe everything, to say nothing. Cool. Okay. All right, my turn.
Your turn, Em.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Gilded District. What you cannot afford. So I think we get a scene wherein Caspian is alone, is without the sort of the company of the group, and they're walking down sort of close to the sea. I think we can hear like the sound of the waves, and I think by this time in like, you know, this time in the afternoon or whatever, rain has begun to fall, so we can hear the sound of the sea, and we can hear the rain on, like, you know, the buildings and on the road. And they're walking along this kind of like pathway that is like next to this kind of cliff that leads down to the water. And so there's the sea on one side, and then on the other side there are this row of houses, which were clearly previously like incredibly rich, apartment buildings. They've got sort of like, fancy spires and Victorian style like lace, and most of them are like 2 or 3 stories, kind of looking out over the water. And but however, like since the storms, so many of them are like kind of in like partial ruin. It's obvious that like the water must have risen up high enough to be like going into some of the houses. So there's like clear water damage on them, and like parts of the roofs have collapsed and everything. I think like Caspian sort of walks along and eventually kind of stops outside this one house, which is like a little smaller than the others, and there's a little bit more kind of like space between it and the 2 on either side. And they sort of pause in front of it and just kind of like stand looking at it sort of wistfully, and listening to the sound of the sea behind them. And I think after a moment of standing there, kind of looking up at it, there's like a movement in the window, and they realize that there's somebody like inside who's kind of looking out. I think they like go to sort of like move away, and the window like opens, and this like sort of middle-aged woman like puts her head out and kind of looks down at them and says, "You there? What are you looking at?" And they sort of like shake their head and then like move their hands. This woman says like, "Well, don't stare. I know my house is in ruins, but it's still probably better than anything you could afford." And kind of like looks them up and down and kind of like, glares at their like simple like tunic or whatever. And then I think, she just like slams the door like closed on them again, and sort of like you can like see her kind of moving away from the window or whatever. I think there's just kind of like a last shot sort of on their Caspian's face, kind of like as they like turn back and look toward the sea and sort of slowly like start walking back along the promenade. That's all, I think.
That's cool.
Man, the people from this town are awful.
I know, right? Rude.
Maybe this lady's Shanae's mum.
I feel like one of the people in our party is from this town.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you want to take another quick break before Carrie either chooses to move the Magus or explore further?
Yeah. Can we get a?
Yeah.
Can we get a
Let's
quick-
reveal it so you can think about it during the break.
Ooh.
Oh,
So
Shanae was
so-
right.
so
We
you
are
can-
going on a boat.
Mm-hmm. So, or you can go down to the ice rail. Is that?
No,
No.
you can't. You
No.
can
Oh.
either move your token and do another thing in Astalia, or move the Magus onto the Sea Wing.
Okay, so the Sea Wing is the only next
And from
option.
here,
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well,
All right. Let's take a
if
break.
you want to have a think
Alright,
about
let's
it.
do that.
Cool.
Um,